Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video about ParaSpell XCM SDK guide. In this guide, we are going to check out the assets palette and starting with the retrieving of assets object for a specific parachain. So we're gonna copy the command itself and we're gonna paste it into Visual Studio. I'm just gonna console log it so you can see how it works. We first also have to import it, obviously. Now we are going to pull the assets object from Akala node, and one moment, as you can see, we get retrieved a few interesting things. So we first get native assets, then other assets, and then we get a parachain ID as well as relay chain symbol. So these are details that you may find very useful if you're working with the front end, and you may want to retrieve those as an object so you can easily parse it and work with it. The next one is going to be retrieving the asset ID for a particular parachain. So we are going to copy this command, and well, dot doesn't have an ID on Akala, so we need to use t dot in this example. And as you can see, t dot has ID of 0, and we're going to check that and confirm. And as you can see, t dot asset ID is 0. So we retrieve the asset ID of the t dot with this command. The next interesting command is getting a relay chain asset symbol. So we're gonna check this for Basilisk. As you can see, it's in Kusama, so the relay chain symbol would be KSM. Saving that and now checking it out. As you can see, we get back KSM, so the relay chain symbol, asset symbol is a KSM. The next command we're gonna try is retrieving native assets for a particular parachain. As we already seen in Akala, we're gonna do this for Akala again, so we should receive these. Pasting this into console and saving it, and let's see. So as you can see, we received our native assets from Akala. Let me close the other ones, and you can see they're identical. So this is how you can retrieve only specific assets that you need. You don't need to pull the entire object. So you can use whatever you find more useful for your use case. I'm gonna retrieve foreign assets, or also called other assets. And as you can see, we receive the same object of 18 assets, and they're exactly the same. So next we're gonna check the asset symbols for a particular parachain. So we're gonna retrieve only symbols. This is very useful for the front end. If you were to implement a list of assets on a specific parachain, and as you can see, we get them as an object, and there they are. As well, you get as well a relay chain asset symbol, which is dot. Next up is retrieving a support for a particular asset. So we're gonna check if, for example, dot is on Akala, if it's registered on Akala. This is as well useful for if you were to build a cross-chain call and you're unsure if the asset is compatible on the other chain. You can check it this way, and you can like solve this in the front end, so you don't need to you don't need to have user to decide is this compatible or not. You can do it for them with this. So we can see Akala obviously doesn't have KSM because KSM is Kusama chain asset, and so we're now gonna try dot. This should return true, and it does. So yeah, so we can see that this is a way of checking on even on a backend, you know, checking if the asset is compatible. Now I'm gonna check how much decimals the asset have. This is also another useful feature for you, so you can remedy the fact that if a user inputs very low amount of decimals, you can print out error message for them, like no, this is not a correct amount, or it's just for checking as well. So we can see the dot has 10 decimals. Now next is parachain ID for a particular parachain, so we're gonna check the, well, as we can see, Akala has parachain ID 2000, so we're gonna retrieve parachain ID for parachain for Akala parachain. And as you can see, we got 2000, so which is exactly the parachain ID of Akala. Next up, and the last one, is importing the node names as constant. So if you want to use this in a drop down, for example, you can address them like this, and as you can see, the node number 0 is actually statement, right? So let's try another one. For example, 44, right? Same in it, and it returns unique. So you can use this in a drop down of your dApp. So this concludes it for the assets palette. I hope this was helpful for you, and next one is going to be about the HRMP palette.